6 inches. 6 inches of hail, confirmed, falling from the sky at over 100 miles per hour. That single number just shattered Illinois' all-time state record, and the storm that produced it came out of only a moderate risk day. Now 5 consecutive days of severe weather are locked and loaded, starting right now. This is not one storm system passing through. This is a full week of back-to-back setups across 5 separate regions with 5 completely different hazard profiles. And all of it is building towards something much bigger still coming after this. 36 million Americans are inside an active severe weather risk zone as of today. I need you to hear every word of what I'm about to tell you. Drop your city and state in the comments right now. I will personally track your area all week and reply. Let me start with what happened 2 days ago, because it reframes everything about this season. NWS Chicago officially confirmed 6-inch diameter hailstones from the Kankakee supercell. 6 inches. That destroys Illinois' previous state record of 4 3/4 inches. This is now the largest confirmed hail in Illinois history. That same supercell carved out a long-tracked EF3 tornado through Kankakee and into Lake Village, Indiana. 3 people lost their lives. 1 supercell, 1 afternoon. A 6-inch hailstone traveling at over 100 miles per hour does not dent a roof. It punches through it like cardboard. And here's what you need to sit with. That record-breaking event came out of a moderate risk day, not a high risk, not a particularly alarming SPC outlook, a moderate. This 2026 season has already confirmed an EF5 and 2 tornado emergencies, 12 deaths total so far. Not a single high-risk day has been issued all season. The atmosphere this spring does not need a high risk to produce history. It has already proven that, repeatedly. When you see any risk color on the SPC outlook this week, do not dismiss it. Do not go about your day. Any storm firing this week has the fuel to produce results way outside what the risk category suggests. Today, Tuesday, May 12th, there are 2 separate areas demanding your attention right now. First, the Florida Peninsula is the immediate hot zone. A cold front is sagging southward, and atmospheric instability values could exceed 1,500 joules per kilogram of energy today. Miami, Tampa, Orlando, effective wind shear running 35 to 45 miles per hour through the atmosphere. Those are supercell supporting parameters, and the SPC is not ruling out a tornado today. When discrete supercells eventually transition into an organized cluster, that is when damaging winds become the primary threat. Isolated hail and wind impacts are possible through this evening across the Florida Peninsula. At the same time, Chicago, Milwaukee, and St. Louis need to pay close attention. A cold front dropping southeast out of Canada is driving surface dew points into the 50s across the region. Steep atmospheric lapse rates plus strong west-northwesterly flow equals large hail and wind potential. Scattered storm development is most likely across eastern Wisconsin late this afternoon into early evening. Additional activity is possible into Illinois, Missouri, and southeast Kansas. European model guidance is showing 1/2 inch to over an inch of rain per hour along this entire corridor tonight. Great Lakes region. Keep your alerts active. This front means business. Wednesday, May 13th. And here is the most unexpected severe weather location of this entire 5-day stretch, the Central Appalachians. Pittsburgh, Roanoke, West Virginia, Western North Carolina, Eastern Kentucky. An amplifying upper-level trough pushes into the eastern U.S. Wednesday, and it is not slowing down. The SPC is flagging steep lapse rates across the Ohio Valley for Wednesday afternoon storm development. Isolated severe wind gusts are the primary threat, with complex mountain terrain adding additional storm coverage. And here's the part that matters most. West Virginia recorded its first damaging tornado in over a decade just this month. Mountain communities, rural geography, limited shelter options. Even an isolated event in this terrain deserves serious attention and a serious plan. Salt Lake City. You are also in Wednesday's picture. Surface temperatures pushing into the 80s with lapse rates approaching record values in the Rockies. Ogden, West Valley City. Have your storm plan ready before storms fire over high terrain Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, May 14th. And I need you to pay full attention to this one. The Great Plains instability axis on Thursday has the highest atmospheric ceiling of the entire week. Wichita, Salina, Hutchinson, Enid, Ponca City. Dew points forecast to reach the 60s in that corridor. Atmospheric instability values peaking between 1,500 and 2,500 joules per kilogram along the Oklahoma-Kansas corridor Thursday afternoon. Those are the exact same instability numbers that supported the Kankakee supercell. The exact same numbers. A capping inversion is holding the lid on daytime storms Thursday, but that cap is not guaranteed to hold. If an outflow boundary breaks that cap, storms will tap into extraordinary energy. Any storm that fires Thursday is capable of large hail, damaging winds, and an isolated tornado. Deep layer wind shear of 35 to 50 miles per hour is enough to sustain a supercell. Dallas, Fort Worth, the Texas-Oklahoma border area. Thursday evening is your primary watch window. Cap-limited setups are exactly where the most intense storms appear. Tell me your city and state below. I will give you your 5-day risk window personally. Friday, May 15th, and the northern plains rotate back into the threat zone. Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Wisconsin. A shortwave trough pushes severe storms through the same communities that absorbed the early April fury. Rochester, Minnesota is back inside Friday's corridor. The European model shows a deepening surface low near the Texas-Oklahoma border Friday morning, fueling a Gulf moisture push northward. Rainfall rates are already showing in model guidance. Des Moines, Sioux Falls, Fargo, Green Bay. Friday afternoon is not a day to be caught outside without a plan. Know your shelter before storms develop. Saturday and Sunday, May 16th and 17th, and this is where the week peaks. Gulf moisture builds northward Saturday into the best severe weather environment of the stretch. A 15% severe weather probability zone is already painted from North Texas all the way up through Nebraska. Large hail, damaging wind gusts, an isolated tornado. Iowa, northern Missouri, eastern Nebraska, northeastern Kansas. You are inside the hail hotspot this weekend, the same corridor that produced Illinois' hail record. If supercell development is expected in your area Saturday, get your vehicles under cover, no exceptions. Now here's what I need you to understand about the Saturday setup. Gulf moisture surging into a capped environment is a classic derecho precursor. A derecho is not a wind advisory. A derecho produces damaging winds continuously across 250 miles or more. The same atmospheric flow that drove squall lines through Missouri in April is returning. When supercell density hits a threshold, upscale growth into an organized storm complex becomes likely. The overnight low-level jet assets after sunset, and that drives squall lines deep into heavily populated areas while most people are asleep. Saturday night is high risk. Weather alerts on. No exceptions. Flash flooding kills more Americans every year than tornadoes do, and it is the hazard getting the least attention this week. The Weather Prediction Center is flagging excessive rainfall concerns across the central Gulf Coast all week long. Rainfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour are possible. Stalling frontal patterns will cause training convection, meaning the same storms hit the same geography repeatedly, same location, same roads, back to back. Turn around, don't drown. Every single day this week, not just the high-profile severe weather days. Do not drive into standing water. The European model is also showing rainfall rates approaching an inch per hour offshore the Carolinas by Thursday night. Atlantic coast, you are in this picture too. And now, the threat that catches people completely off guard every single time. Every squall line that develops in the afternoon can push overnight into populated areas. The same nocturnal jet that drove the Mississippi emergencies is active again. A PDS tornado warning at 11 p.m. happened on a night that looked completely calm on the surface. Thursday night into Friday, and Saturday night into Sunday. Those are your 2 highest risk overnight windows. Have your weather alerts active every single night this week. Every night. The atmosphere never announces its most dangerous setup. A 3-inch hailstone through a windshield is not just property damage. Alerts on. Every night. That is not optional. Now, I need to tell you what this entire week is actually building toward, because this 5-day sequence is not the climax of 2026. The week of May 19th through May 26th is the most historically active. Everything happening this week, every storm, every moisture surge, is feeding atmospheric energy northward for what follows. The SPC Day 4-8 outlook already has a 15% hatched zone. That hatching means significant tornadoes cannot be ruled out. A bombogenesis event, a pressure drop of 20 millibars, is driving the entire week's corridor. And 0 high-risk days have been issued all of 2026. 60 high-risk days were issued across the decade of the 1990s. This spring has had 0, and yet an EF5 still happened. Record hail still happened. 12 people have died. The lesson is clear. When you see a marginal risk this week, do not dismiss it. 2,500 joules per kilogram of instability is forecast for Thursday. They are returning to the plains. Here is the complete week, one final time. Tuesday, Florida and Great Lakes. Wednesday, Central Appalachians and Northern Rockies. Thursday, Great Plains instability axis. Friday, Northern Plains. Saturday, Sunday, Gulf moisture surge. 5 days, 5 regions, 5 hazard profiles, and all of it setting the table for the most historically dangerous week in the severe weather calendar. 8 days away. Know your shelter for every single day this week. Keep your alerts active every single night. This 5-day corridor is not the climax of 2026. The climax is still coming. Drop your city and state in the comments. I will be watching live and updating you all week long. Stay weather aware every single night.